Hello and welcome back to this edition of Daily Actives brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I am Dustin. This is the show where we look at the most active stocks on Yahoo Finance every single day. Now, you can see that the most active stock in all of Yahoo Finance was actually Tesla, which is no surprise. The thing was down nearly 8.2% today. What an ugly day. But if we look at it over the 52 weeks, which is the 1 year look back, this thing is up nearly 51%. So we can't be cracking. You were like Mr. Quackaroo who was swimming in those gold coins when you were watching, like, I don't even know if it was Darkwing Duck or whatever that was. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let's see if the data is updated here. I have a feeling it may not be fully updated just yet, but we'll be getting to the data as we see fit. Ooh, I spelled it wrong. That's not how you spell Tesla. That is a TLSA. So let's go Tesla. Let's see what we got here. So one of the things that I mentioned about Tesla, okay, so we do have updated data through today. One of the things I mentioned about Tesla yesterday, if you watched my video, was that Tesla has essentially done nothing for the past year. If we look at this for the 1 year rolling return, this thing is up what? This thing is up 41% over the 1 year, which is crazy to me, only because if you think about the type of narrative that this has been carrying in all of society, we would have expected that Tesla was at all-time highs. But instead, we can look back and see that the most recent high, or the most recent like intermediate high, was back on the 17th of December at $479.86. I would say the most concerning thing, to be fair, is that we are starting to see essentially what is we saw a high, we've seen a low, and now we're going a little bit sideways. Now we are bullish. I do like the fact that we're bullish. We see that this green line here represents the bullishness, or if you're looking at the individual table, you can see we've got bullish, 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 bullish. The concern that I would have today is in the volume. The reason why is because we are seeing that the price came down 8.2%. Now, being down 8.2% isn't a big deal, but it's the fact that the volume was double what we've seen over the past few days here. Now, it's not a problem for Tesla to have a multi-hundred million or 100 volume day in terms of it, because you can see we saw 190 million here. We could see 105 million, 122 million, 151 million, 200. But what the concerning thing is that now we're negative on the 1 day, 5 day, 15 day, 1 month, and 6 month. We're probably pretty close to going negative on the 3 month as well. So I would be concerned, in my opinion. Now, if we're looking at what we want to see, we'd first want to see Tesla would reclaim this trade level, as well as then we'd want to start to see some of these, the top of the range going higher. The problem is when we look at the range, we look up close, you can see that the range is actually dropping. That is concerning. That is very, very concerning. Now, I would be a buyer of Tesla somewhere around, it looks like 286. Now, that's maybe tough if you come down from 305 to 286, but I do suspect that Elon has got some things up his sleeve. He is not one of those boys who just sits around and lets his stock get crushed. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. We got WBD. This one came up yesterday. This is Warner Brothers Discovery, I believe. This one has been a fantastic stock. The reason why it's been so good is because if you look, this is what a proper trend looks like, right? We can see that we've got higher highs in the top of the range, almost off the top of the charts. The top of the range is at 1395. We can see the bottom of the range is staying still and then starting to come up. You can see that the price is starting to kind of follow that range up. You can see even on the candlestick chart where we went bullish here, where we went bullish essentially on whatever day this was. Oh yeah, I forget. I got to work on this. But if we look here, that was on June 9th. We've essentially been bullish ever since, and the thing has just been rising up. I love to see what we're seeing here inside of this Warner Brothers Digital. And again, comparing this to what we just saw in Tesla, you're seeing that we have red background with black lettering, which means it's two standard deviations above its mean. We are seeing an increase in volume while we're seeing it push higher, right? Look at this. You're seeing a positive 1 day, 5 day, 15 day, 1 month, 3 month, and 6 month, and 1 year. This is fantastic, as well as the higher highs in the stock. There is nothing that you could say about what you're seeing in Warner Brothers Discovery that would give you pause. The only thing you want to see is you want to be able to buy, or at least in my opinion, what I want to buy is when I see the price come back with its green background with the black lettering. That means it's in the middle of its standard deviation range. And for me, that is the thing that I want to see. So like that is probably, let's see if that what day that was. That's probably here. Says it was the 7th, so it's here. So you can see on the 7th, it was down 1% that day, and it was right in the middle of the range. That is a great place to buy, in my opinion, for the type of strategy that I like to run. But if we're looking at what we can see here, this thing has been bullish for a very long time, since the very beginning of June. Let's go ahead and see what else we have. American Airlines. I'm just going to let you know right now, if you've watched my previous videos, I do not care for American Airlines. AAL is not my cup of tea. The reason why is because it is absolute dog shit. Like, and I don't mean the company, I don't mean the planes, I don't mean the pilots. What I mean, oh, I think I spelled it wrong. Is it AAL? Okay, I got you. So the problem that I have with it is that it's done nothing. This thing has essentially gone sideways. I mean, yeah, it's relatively like a new stock, it looks like. Does this thing like, what happened here? How does this like a new stock? How is this? It can't be a new stock. Yeah, that's the 5 year. So there's no way. This is just bad data. I don't know exactly what that is. AAL? Why are we giving me that? Makes no sense to me, but regardless, if we look at it even on the 9 month, I don't see anything that's significantly positive. Let's see here. This thing it was down 9.62% today. That is a crazy move inside of AAL. I would be very concerned if I was a shareholder. I am not. As I've mentioned to you, I do not like the fact that there's no trend. But if I was going to buy, I do like the fact that it's in the middle of the range now. It's $11.46. It is below its trade level, which I'm not very happy with. It is bullish. The volume was increasing on a big down day. Not a big fan of that. Anytime that I'm going to see a huge increase in volume and I'm going to see a big down move against the counter trend, that's a concern to me. I'm not going to spend any more time on American Airlines. Let's see what else we got on here today. NVIDIA. Now, if you watched my video yesterday on NVIDIA, NVIDIA is a gold mine. The reason why NVIDIA is a gold mine is not because of NVIDIA, because of the sector. NVIDIA is one of the fish swimming in the school of all of these semiconductor stocks. Now, as I've mentioned, we are looking at Tesla. What we can see is we saw a little bit of a drop down in the range here, but it looks like it's starting to tilt back up. We can see the price is continuing to ride the top of the trend. The bottom of the range is continuing to rise as well. I love to see that. We look at the candlestick chart. We can also see that we've got bullish, bullish, bullish. We can see that it's starting to dip down, and now it's starting to pop back up. This day, whatever day this was, let's just see here. So this day on the 22nd, when you were down 2.52% in NVIDIA, that was a great opportunity to enter. I can tell too, because I can see that it was green background with the black lettering. Again, I keep mentioning this, but for me, I want to buy in the middle of the range. I want to buy when something is green background, black lettering. That is a big significant signal to me, especially when something is bullish, has strong volume, and when it's down, right? When it's down, you're not seeing a huge increase in volume. That's the big thing. Nvidia is consistently doing over 100 million shares traded every single day. But when it's down, it's not like a massive day. Like this day here, when it was up 4.04%, 230 million shares traded. That's massive. That is the type of move that I'm looking for to be a low volume day relative to what its history's been, because it's at 132 million, but still very bullish. We're seeing the trade range continue to rise. We're seeing a higher low. I feel very comfortable with what I see in NVIDIA, and NVIDIA for me is something that I definitely want to be paying attention to long term, and I'm going to be buying on dips. Let's look at INTC. What is that? Intel Corporation? I have not looked at this in a long time, but I'll be very curious about what we see inside of Intel. The reason why is because every single stock that exists tells a story. But again, this is very much like the American Airlines we just looked at. Essentially, it's done nothing. Like if we look at it over the 1 year, like what are we looking at? This thing was at $35 or $31 a year ago. This thing is at what? Yeah, it's at 22.63. Okay, so the only reason why you would want to buy this, maybe there's a good dividend. I'm not sure. Maybe you need to buy something like this. I'm not sure. But for me, I will say that it's positive from the perspective of middle of the range, green background, black lettering. We're seeing increase in volume, which doesn't go well with this big drop. We are still bullish, but now we are below our trade level. We're still seeing a higher low, but that's only because it's bullish. I don't really like it. I mean, we're seeing the top of the range come down a little bit. I mean, we were at 24.16, 24.24, 24.21. I would need to see a very strong resumption of upward trend. And I mean, if we're looking at the 1 year look back, which if you do any proper trend following, like if you've read any actual like statistics or like, I don't know if you've really read any of the reports about what's going on, trend following specifically talks about the fact that a 1 year look back is a very good indication of forward returns for at least the next 30 days. I'm not saying for the next 6 months. I'm not saying for the next year. I'm not saying for the next 10. I'm not saying the next super cycle. I'm talking about the next month. And if you want to be in something that is going to pay you, right now, Intel does not look like it's going to do it, or at least in my opinion. That's how I'm thinking about it with my money. You do whatever you want with yours. Again, this is never financial advice. This is just one guy ranting on YouTube for an app that he built, which is a great segue into if you want to sign up for this, this is free to join. You can come, go ahead. Well, you can go to traderange.authentication.web.app. Come on, you get 30. I upped it so you can look for 30 individual stocks every single day. You can add things to your portfolio. You click this little star. You see the little thing in the bottom corner. It just says boom, added to the portfolio. You come in. You look at your portfolio of all the things that you bought. Nothing counts against your actual searches. This is just going to be based off of cache data. So you can come in, see what you need. And it's going to show you your symbol, your date, your close, your volume, your sentiment, your trade range, all the different things that you want to be paying attention to. If you even got crypto in here, we got currencies on here, we got a bunch of different things. And again, it's free. You can use it 30 times a day, absolutely free. You want to pay to be able to get a little bit more access. You want to be able to see some of these individual, like the G20 or maybe what we got going on in terms of the crypto. Go ahead and sign up. No harm, no foul. Do whatever you want. Let's go ahead and look at DNN real quick because I love when I see stocks like this, right? Stocks that have essentially been bearish for a long time. Like if we look at this over the 1 year, this thing was going sideways, going up, going down, but it is starting to break out. If this thing breaks 250, we have got ourselves, boys and girls, a great opportunity. The reason why is because look at the top of the range is screaming higher. Love to see it. We are bullish. We are bullish. We are bullish. The bottom of the range is starting to break down, but that's only because the volatility is breaking out. The price is following the very top of the range, which I love to see. We are making candles, which are showing us conviction. I don't even know. This thing must be in like uranium or metals or mining or something like that. We are seeing prices again. We do not see it with a green background with the black lettering. We haven't seen it since the 11th. This thing has been two standard deviations above, three standard deviations above, actually one standard deviation, three standard deviations, two standard deviations above its mean. We have been bullish, bullish, bullish. We are seeing an increase in volume. Look, 91 million shares traded today and it was up 3.6%. This day here, 60 million, 62, 69, great number. That's when it was down, right? That's when you were having down days here in DNN. Now that we're seeing a resumption in bullishness, we are seeing higher volume, higher highs, an increasing price, and the top of the range is screaming even higher. This is the type of stuff you're going to be looking for. Now, we're going to go to one that I've talked about quite a bit, and it isn't that I don't like this stock, it's that I continue to say it's not doing anything. It may turn over a lot of shares, it may have some big updates, but it's not doing anything. That's Lucid. Look at this thing. We're looking at it on the 1 year look back. Where were we? A year ago, what were we at? $3.50. What are we at now? $2, $3. I mean, come on. Like if you're gonna swing trade, I can completely understand if you want to use the range. That would be a way that I would do it, considering that like here would be a sell, here would be a essentially a buy, here would be a buy, here would be a sell. I'm not sure if it's that good in terms of you looking at it for the long term, unless you're really just gonna focus on one thing. But this is the type of stock that's just going to chew up an account, in my opinion. Like the way that I see it right now, we are seeing some really good prices around $3, but we're not breaking it. We're not at 325. We're not at 350. We're not even bouncing down to 250 to really see a swing up to $3. All we're seeing is a lot of like sticking to the top. We are seeing 245 be the trade level. We are seeing the bottom of the range still be around 148. We're seeing the top of the range. Maybe we get to 350. Maybe we get there. I mean, there is some positives that we do see higher highs in the range, but look at this. We are seeing down days, down days. Like we're still down in a 1 year look back. Whatever you want to do with your own money is your choice. I'm not, again, any financial advice, but Lucid to me does not look good. Ooh, Chipotle Mexican Grill. Now, I do not know exactly what's going on with Chipotle. I haven't eaten there in a long time, but I do know that I saw the headline that says they had 2 quarters in a row, I think, of negative sales or falling sales, and it shows. Okay, Chipotle is having some trouble here. Now, if we're going to be honest, it probably makes you sick. The thing about Chipotle, though, is that the stock makes me sick. It's not doing anything. Like, yeah, you're seeing the top of the range break out because we had a drop in the price. The price is now below the bottom of the range. But if we're going to be real serious about what we want to do with our money, why would you buy this? This is like buying a falling knife, especially when you're in a situation when the indexes are incredibly bullish right now, right? Like, there is no reason to buy something like this when you're saying, oh, look, we're down. We like for today. It says 1%. There's no way that's 1%. That's not the move of the day. That's the move of the day, not the move from the close yesterday. We're down 1% from the open, which is 46.20. We closed at 45.74. But if we're going to be honest about where we were yesterday, we closed at 52.78. That's a problem. That's a problem that we're closing like that. And the reason why is because you're just getting chopped up. It's essentially you're turning into why eat at Chipotle when you can have a whole life like Taco Bell, just boop, boop, no point. And if we look at the price here, look at that. So that's blue lettering with a white background. I haven't even showed you this in a long time because the market's so bullish. That is three standard deviations below its mean. Three standard deviations below its mean. In a market where indexes, the Qs, the SPY, and the Dow are all hitting all-time highs. You can be buying Microsoft, Amazon, Meta. I'm not sure about Netflix, NVIDIA. All these different stocks that are hitting all-time highs. They're getting bigger and bigger. Chipotle is getting smaller and smaller. And what I don't like, the most concerning thing is that being down 13.3134% today, massive volume. You see a red lettering with white background, that means it's three standard deviations above its mean of volume. That is, if you're not convinced by the fact that there is a ton of people getting out at any price and you don't necessarily want to be long it, let the volume be your guide because volume is the only thing that's going to tell you the truth in the situation. Because price, look at that big sell. I mean, I coded this and I wasn't paying attention to what we are going to get here in Chipotle. All I can tell you is that we are down on the 1 day, 5 day, 15 day, 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, and 1 year. There is nothing positive coming out of Chipotle right now. They got to figure it out. Maybe that's why they lost their CEO. Maybe he knew what was going on. Actually, it makes me honestly wonder about Starbucks. Let's just look at SBUX real quick because I think the Chipotle CEO went from Chipotle to Starbucks. Let's see how Starbucks is looking. I really have never looked at this in a long I've never really looked at this, but it's essentially at least stabilized, right? We've got a little bit of bullishness. That's what the green bars are here. We got a little bit of bullishness, a little bit of bearishness, nothing huge. We're at least going sideways. Let's look at it on a 5 year. Yeah, I mean, Starbucks is not a great stock, but it's way better than Chipotle right now. I mean, and how can you tell? First off, it's bullish. It's not bearish. Secondly, we're not seeing a massive amount of volume on down days. Thirdly, it's in the middle of the range right now. So 93.70. I actually might buy this just because it's in the middle of the range. It's a little bit bullish and I'm seeing a higher low. It is below its trade level, which I do not like at the moment, but that's okay. We're still positive on the 5 day, 1 month, and 3 month, and the 1 year. We're not positive on the 6 month. We're not positive on the 15 day. We're not positive on the 1 day. But that doesn't mean that there isn't brighter days ahead for Starbucks. Starbucks, it just means that it's much, much better than Chipotle right now. Let's go ahead and look at Google. So GG or GOOGL. I like that Google is fighting back as a company, as a stock, as a people. They are fighting back. Look at that. So if you look at it, first off, we see a little bit of a bow higher. We're going a little bit up and to the right. Today was a down day, it looks like. But if we're going to be honest, people thought Google was left for dead, which means that there's a lot of people who sold it who need to get back in. Secondly, if we look, the price is hugging at the top of the range. I love when it stays at the top of the range like that. Like when you stay at the top of the range, that is very convincing to me. And the price in the top of the range is 195.46. I love that. As well as what I love is that we saw a bottom here. We saw something that looked like an actual bottom. It looks like on April 7th, we hit a low of $140. We're nearly at $200 now. Now, if we're looking again, if we look at the table of data, which I think makes it a lot easier to read, we are two standard deviations above its mean. We had 74 million shares traded today, and we are up 1%. That is huge. We're still very bullish. We're seeing the trade range rise. We see higher lows, higher highs, and the top of the range is continuing to go where the price is going. This is a very bullish sign, in my opinion. We're still negative on the 6 months. We just flipped positive on the 1 year. Well, I love that, Google. You flipped on the 17th of July. That is a great indication of a stock to me for what I'm looking for. So let's go ahead and look at what else we have here. What's QS? I don't know it. These stocks, when you have like a regular job, and that's the whole point of why I built something like this, is because when you have a regular job, you don't want to have to be staring at the market all day. What you want is you want to be able to look at something that can tell you, where am I? Do I want to buy this? And right now, QS, I want to buy it. I don't know if I want to buy it today or if I want to buy it tomorrow, but I love this move. You were at $6, you're up at like 14 now. I love that move. It's just, see, the thing is that when you look at enough stocks every single day, you can start to just look at something and say, like, okay, good signal. Actually, bullish or bearish. That's the first thing. Bullish or bearish. Secondly, is it trending? Like this went from trendless to trending very, very quickly. I mean, right now we're at $12.63. We are bullish. The trade range is at 977. The top of the range is at 1657. We were down today. We're down over the past 5 days, but things are incredible. Over 6 months, you're up 145%. 3 months, 218. 1 month, 122. This is the type of move you're looking for. And if you want my honest opinion about what you'd really want is to see when it flips from a negative 3 month rolling to a positive. That's what I'd be looking for. I mean, that's what I'm looking for. I'll just let you know that right there. I mean, that's a big buy. That's why. Okay, just to let you know, like the reality is that when you see a rolling return and a rolling look back start to flip positive, that is what the machine, that is what the algos, that is what the big money traders are looking for. They're looking for something that changes the direction, the trend, and that is the signal that they're giving you. Let's go ahead and look at the Dow. I don't think Dow's going to be good, but we'll find out. Again, you can see how quickly. The nice thing about this tool, you can fly through stocks. You don't have to be thinking about like, what am I looking at? What indicators am I going to do? I made it so it's super, super dumb simple. I've only used 14 today. I've got another 16 I could use for the entire day. It's free for anybody who wants to come in. Just sign up with your Google. I'm gonna update it to be able to take in your Facebook, all that kind of stuff. But I think when I'm looking at something like this, it's really clear and easy to see. Like, first off, it's been bearish. It's essentially trendless. We're seeing the top of the range start to go a little bit higher, but like, why? Who cares? Like, this thing is down to $25.07. It's two standard deviations below its mean. It saw 63 million shares traded, which is a three standard deviations above its mean. It was down 17.45%, 17.45% today, 11.9% over 5 days, 12.7% over 15 days. Like this is destroying people's money. And the problem is that you see this bull target right here. The problem is that we're getting whipsawed, right? Like the market, not even the market, traders and myself and my model and my system are not built for whipsaws. They're made to avoid whipsaws, right? Like yes, this is bullish, but it's not really bullish. This is a piece of crap. This thing is going to be bearish before you know it, because it looks like we're going to keep on falling. Like, and if you want to be honest about something that is a very clear indication of when bears become more bears, UNH. If you haven't looked at UNH, or you're even attempting to trade this piece of shit stock, God have mercy on your soul. Unless you're buying this thing for 2, 3, 4, 5 years out, this thing looks like it is getting crushed. Okay. Like, it has been bearish since 715. Okay. It's at 278. This thing is down 4.7% today. Over 1 month, it's down 7.76%. Over 3 months, 33%. 6 months, 48%. You think about this. Think about if you put all of your money into UNH a year ago, you'd be down 50%. Why? Because you didn't pay attention to bearish trends. It's honestly that simple when it comes down to what you should be looking for. Just pay attention to bullish and bearish. Determine the trend. Make a stop. Get some opinions about like how big your position size is going to be, and then just let it ride. Let's look at Neo. This is honestly Neo. I made a video the other day about how much I actually would be buying this one out of all of them. I would be buying this one over Tesla. I'd be buying this one over Lucid. I might be buying this one over Rivian, but regardless, this one is the best one. I mean, you can see first off, we're bullish. right? We can see the top of the range is screaming higher. We can see the prices coming back to the middle of the range. We can see here that we were down today, but we were down 1.83%. We didn't see a huge spike in volume. That's a great indication. If you've watched the video up to this point, that is the indication that you're looking for. You do not want to see a humongous spike in volume when you see a big move downward. You want to see a huge spike in volume when you see a price upward. That's what you want. Like you want 129 million when you go up 10% in a day. You do not want to see 129 million and you're down 10% in a day. That is a very bad indication unless you're short, which I don't short because preferably I believe the market should go up and to the right. So why am I going to fight the trend, baby? If you can tell there's an individual theme that's going on here, be a trend follower, pay attention to what the market is doing and let the market do the work. Trading should not be hard. Okay. Let's look at the next one here. Ooh, Riot. This is a beloved darling of so many people. And it's related, I'm pretty sure, to Bitcoin. I don't follow these companies, but look at that thing. Like, again, this is why I made the bullish to be green, the bearish to be red. You can see it just go from green to red to green, and we are up and to the right, boys and girls. Like, the top of the range is right up there, screaming higher at 1552. Looks like the close is at 1469. The bottom of the range is starting to come up higher. The candlesticks look beautiful. They are right in line. Pretty low volatility, actually. I mean, this is the type of move that you're looking to just buy into, especially when you get something like this. So right now you're at 1469. You got the red background with the black lettering. That means it's two standard deviations above its. Actually, it means it's one standard deviation above its mean. If we look here on the 15th, this was the day to buy, in my opinion, because based on what I built, it is about the green background with the black lettering. That means it is in the middle of its standard distribution range. That was a great day. It was down 3.2% that day. Great day to buy. You'd be up, I don't even know. Let's just say over 5 days, you'd be up 10%, over 15 days, you'd be up 20%, right? Like trading, again, does not have to be that hard. All it needs to be is something where you have a consistent process that is following along. I don't want to look at the rest of these because I can tell you were down, you were down, you were down. Let's see what we got here. Anything else even remotely fun? Ooh, American Eagle. So I will look at American Eagle because I can see that people are getting hot and bothered about Sydney Sweeney being on these new ads, and it looks like the market is showing some love to the good old American Eagle brand. This brand has been around for so long, and look at this thing. See, what I like is when you see a stock like this, something where if we go to the 3 month, you can see it's essentially been dormant, right? It's just nothing has been happening for a long time in American Eagle. But if we look at it on the 1 year, it's down 45.9%. On the 6 month, it's still down 31%. But it flipped from negative to positive on the 3 month rolling return. I don't remember what stock that was that I said that, but that is what you want to be looking for. You want to look for when something flips from negative to positive because that is a very good indication. Now, if we were going to look for when this thing flipped bullish, we saw it flip bullish on the 21st. Somebody knew something. Decent amount of volume. Next date, very bullish. And again, we saw it be up 2.7%. I continue to harp on this. It is about the volume. The volume will tell you the truth. The reason why is because you can't fake volume. You can mess with prices, you can get a couple of people, but you can't fake volume. So you can see we went from 5.1 million when we turned bullish to 9.2 billion to confirm the bullish. We went to 15 million the next day to be able to do the bullish, and now we're at 45.2 or 42 million. We're up 4.25%. I'm not saying this thing is going to continue to run. I'm telling you that it has the indications, it has the markers, it has the signals, it has the style of something that could continue to trend. I'm not saying this thing is, I don't know, I don't have a price target, I don't build price targets. All I'm saying is that when I look at this is three standard deviations above its mean. The volume is three standard deviations above its mean. It's bullish. We can see the trade range or the trade level starting to scream higher. We see the top of the range went from 1069 to 1104. That is a move, boys and girls. The only concerning thing that I would say is that we're currently above the top of the range. I'd want to continue to pay attention to this. I'm going to put this into my personal portfolio for now so that I can start to continue to track it. But what I'm looking at and what I'm seeing are indications that we are going to be trending into the end of the year because this is a small cap company that has got big momentum. Now, if you made it to this point in this, if you made it to this point in the video and you are interested in trying this, feel free to go to traderangeauthentication.web app. I'm going to get a different URL, still continuing to build. You can sign up. It's free to use. You get 30 individual searches per day. You can add things in your portfolio. They automatically get added. It may take a second to load, especially if you've got a lot of different positions like I do in mine. One of the things that's great about this, though, is that it allows you to pay attention to different stocks. You can come in every single day. It gets updated at 7 p.m. East Coast time based on my data provider. And then you can start to look and say, okay, what's bullish? Where are my higher highs? What's bullish? Where are my higher lows? The most important thing to me when I'm looking at something like this is I want to see, A, how close is it to the trade level, right? Like, is it below the trade level like Lemonade? Lemonade is below its trade level, so it's down 1.8%. And then how far away from the top of the range is it, right? So, like, I'd be looking at something here. Well, first off, I would look at the price and see is it in the green range. So like Bitcoin, I'm going to buy. Lemonade's a decent buy. Coinbase, now there's a buy in my opinion because that is the type of thing that's going to be a secular trend through this kind of momentum, especially considering that it's 4.6% above its trade level. It is nearly 10% from the top of its range. I love that. The only concerning thing that you're ever going to see is something that is going to be, let's just see, like Chewy. This is a stock that I personally have to deal with. I got to get this thing out of my portfolio. The reason why is because this thing has flipped from bullish. This thing flipped from bullish to bearish. Let me go ahead and look at Chewy. Yeah, Chewy, let's go. So Chewy flipped from bullish to bearish. Okay, you can see here in the stock, right? It went from bullish to very bearish, and now it's screaming towards the bottom of the range. I'm expecting it to potentially pick up, but you can see here it flipped from bullish to bearish on the 27th of June, and it's been essentially downhill ever since. It's been bearish the entire time. We're getting lower lows, lower highs. Just because you can build a good model and you can build a good thing doesn't mean you can necessarily trade the best. I've got to deal with this. This is a personal thing, but I just want to mention to you exactly how I'm going to be paying attention to and using the portfolio on the Trade Range app. I think this is a wonderful thing. If you want to pay for it, it's $20 a month. It gives you unlimited, gives you access to other things beyond that. What it gives you is it'll give you the G20, it'll give you crypto, currencies. It gives you today's trade here. What you could look at is like this is the premium version. So like it comes in. I will have crypto as well if you pay for it. It'll give you a breakdown of all of these major stocks are the major like 25 largest market cap. It updates every single night. Then you can just see where you at. What do you want to buy? Where are we? Like these are just general markers, but for me these are much better indications. Like right now I know Doge is bearish. Right now I know Hedera bearish. Right now I know official Trump coin bullish, Fartcoin bullish, Ave Maria or whatever bullish, Polkadot bullish, Litecoin bullish, and you can see that we have the same coloration when it comes to the close. So we've got a green background, black lettering. To me, this is really useful and simple. If I want to look at currencies I think are a really nice thing to be able to look at because right now currencies are where all of the volatility is because as the dollar is getting crushed, paying attention to currencies I think is a really useful thing. So I'm using this in this exact same way. Helps me understand what I should be paying attention to. I want to see if I'm going to be is the dollar bearish against the yen? Yep. Okay. Are we looking at other things? Even on here, it gives me today's trades. Gives me a few different things to pay attention to. And what I'm starting to do is save them. So if I go back, I can see like what were these trades a few days ago, right? Like what was the setup that I was looking for just a few days ago? To me, that's fantastic. And I know that not everybody wants the exact same stuff, but if you're looking for something that can help augment your trading, give you something that makes you feel comfortable, gives you something that allows you to look at stocks, crypto, and currencies, go ahead and check out tradingrangeauthentication.web.app. Go ahead, it's free. Sign up. I'm excited to see you. I'll talk to you soon.